and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and today we'll be doing June book releases and there is quite a lot. Let's just get into it. My first book is The Blood Weaver by C.N. Kuster. And the wizard of magic, a shattered family, a brooding war. In a world where some can manipulate life with a single touch, siblings end up on rival sides, forced to reckon with the choices that led them there. 3 generations ago, ancient and mysterious beings introduced the world to the arcane art of blood weaving, which allows the practitioners to manipulate life with a merely touch. Now blood weavers must hide in plain sight or risk being hunted by violent Megan soldiers known as breakers, who will stop at nothing to eradicate weaving once and for all. Though his family's vineyard has flourished thanks to blood weaving, Caddick de Luminia has kept his powers a secret from everyone, including his beloved fellow triplets, Mel and Emil. When his father Breakers arrives on the day of Emil's wedding, Caddick weaves himself a new face and flees to protect his family, setting out in search of the rival, a secret society of blood weavers who stand on the precipice of an uprising. Comes out on June 23rd. My next book is A Cursed Ever After by Addie C. Nadianja. Love is not for cursed girls. Lisa is better off without it. So this is like The Princess Bride and Once Upon a Broken Heart kind of book. Lisa Porter is a bad thing born on a bad day and cursed with bad luck. After years of taking the blame for every calamity, mishap, and minor inconvenience that befalls the townspeople of Barrow, she longs for escape, and on her 17th birthday her wish is granted. Sort of. Lisa owes a very annoying witch a favor, and it comes in the form of a quest. Escort Prince Javi, the youngest, handsomest, and least significant prince, through the dark and deadly pursuit to his wedding. This measly errand quickly spirals into a struggle against greedy assassins, a murderous cult, and a vicious tyrant, and Lisa's own curse. Comes out on June 30th. My next book is Rain Song by Lilia Reeson. In a small town haunted by unsolved disappearances, a teen with a secret ability must unravel a deadly mystery before she becomes the next victim. Venezuela is not the quaint coastal California town Zane Pereira imagined. Enshrouded in the fog that never lets up, posters of a missing teen girl are plastered everywhere, and just offshore is an island called Rain Song, rumored to be haunted. At her new school, everyone is suspicious of each other, so when charismatic Oleg takes Zane under her wing, it's a relief. But is her charm hiding something? People assume brooding Tiago, the missing girl's ex-boyfriend, is responsible for her disappearance, but Zane can't keep her eyes off him. Is he really whoever says he is? Comes out on June 23rd. My next book is Together We See by Ari Tucson. How far would you go to protect your land, to protect your family? Told in multiple points of view, Together We See follows Julia Dominguez, a bravely American teenager searching for the truth behind her land activist father's mysterious death on the native territory in Costa Rica. Julia and her brother Quebec uncover secrets and corruption as they face off against illegal loggers, kidnappers, settlers, and the local government in the hunt for clues. Their only allies are a few family friends and relatives still living in Bibli, as well as young journalists who may be in danger himself, but as the details of their fathers that emerge, long-held trust is broken, and in the sinister web of deception, no one is safe. Comes out on June 16. And my next book is the sequel to Devils Like Us, and this is called Devils We Know by L.T. Thompson. We need to fight death. Cass, Remy, and Finn are on the run from the Order of Lazarus, a secret society that wants to use Cass' prophetic powers to capture death and ensure that only the unworthy and immoral will meet their ends, which will not only upend nature's balance, but also tear apart the only place Cass has ever felt free to be himself. No matter what, he can't let that happen. To protect the farm family of queer sailors, the 3 teens will need to fight death first, and strike a bargain of their own. But the society is hot on the heels, and so is a demon who is determined to claim the souls he owned. Comes out on June 9th. My next book is Her Sharp Embrace by Kate Cohen. In the glittering city of New Seoul, beauty makes mass danger every turn. The Nightshades, a crew of magical outlaws, are no different. The glamorous facades conceal the terror they strike into the hearts of the rich and powerful as they steal from the corrupt and fight for the forgotten. Noah Toussaint fled her contented life as a saint to join the Nightshades. Infatuated with the ferocious leader Lennon, Noah aims to capture her heart and keep it. Her talent for alchemy is valuable, but her connection to her family puts all of the shades in danger. Comes out on June 9. My next book is The Spiritualist by Christina O'Donnell Tube. Stella Bardon is never alone, never, and yet she is the loneliest person she knows, dead or alive. A gifted psychic who can hear the voices of spirits, all Stella wants is to code enough people to survive on the brutal New York City streets and find a way to deal with the tragic death of her sister. Performing seances in parlor rooms and tarot readings by candlelight, Stella is barely holding on until she meets Pax, a mysterious young man who offers Stella an invitation and enjoying a secret group of talent mystics who explore the darker realms of spiritualism, and together they will get revenge on her sister's killer. Comes out on June 2nd. My next book is Their Will Undone by R.J. Valdeperas. When a maiden is selected to marry the emperor, her journey to the palace will see her finding both the spark of magical power and her growing feelings for her broody escort. And the Amano Empire is considered an honor to be chosen for the annual harvest. But when gods stole Nina's brothers away and devastated her family, so when the gods returned for Nina's sweet sister, she threw herself into the clutches instead. And Nina has spent every moment since then in the Akalahuazai, I think I said it wrong, and gilded cage where women are trained to become servants or wives. When Kazig, an obedient lieutenant, an armor's army is sent to the Akusi to retrieve the emperor's new wife, it's only the powers of his own command and a chance to escape his controlling father that forces him to accept. Comes out on June 2nd. My next book is Shadow Reaper by Lynette Noni. Never bargain with the Reaper. The city of Autumn Vale is in peril, plagued by deadly black mist that kills all it touches and reapers who roam the streets, stealing magic from innocent children in the thirst for power. 17-year-old Vinia Solas has trained for years to hunt these reapers, but their ranks keep growing, led by the man who murdered her parents, the notorious Reaper Price. When the Price's most loyal follower, Maeve Ashton, is captured, he offers Billy a chance to avenge her parents for a price. She knows better than to bargain with the Reaper, let alone this Reaper, but his offer is too good to resist. Comes out on June 2nd. The next book is The Hares by Farada Abig Ayumandi. I believe she's also the author of Ace of Spades, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, she is. I quite like that book. My next book. Anyways, a mystery about 5 teen geniuses, the ability of father, and the investigation into his murder. 5 tragedies, 1 dead father, mansion full of suspects. What could go wrong, right? Octavius the Maestro, Volia the Brain, Bela the Olympian, Perdita the Artist, Romeo the Failure. These are the 5 heroes of the illustrious billionaire Leontes Button, adopted and viciously trained with the father's infamous Button method to prove his hypothesis for creating progenies, child geniuses. The Button siblings have had no choice but to be brilliant according to their father's impossible high standards, until he is murdered at his annual progeny ball. Now all who attend the ball required to stay in the Button Manor while the police investigate, but the officers have their work cut out for them. Each of the Button siblings has something to hide, but the Hares aren't the only ones with secrets. After all, Leontes Button was especially good at making enemies. Comes out on June 2nd. My next book is also a sequel to Stormweaver, or at least that's what the series is called, or a duology. I'm not sure what this is. It might be a duology. The first book was Hair of Storms, and then the sequel is called Tides of Fortune by Lauren Hamilton Murray. Having survived 3 treacherous trials to win her crown, Blaze is now queen of the Aquatori. But before she can take the throne, she must set out to find the Eye of the Soul, one of the realm's most powerful weapons, before another claims its power for themselves. Her journey will take her deep into the forest of Osterkard and into a temporary alliance with infuriating but undeniably compelling fox. She can't help but feel drawn to him, but can she trust him? Fortune favors the brave, and will it protect the Stormweaver on her most dangerous mission yet? Comes out on June 2nd. My next book is The Shrouded Queen by Ashley Tropea. As a slave to the Ashoran royals, Samilia has always known she was expendable, so when the vicious cult folk attack the palace, she is ready to die as a decoy for her princess. But when she's captured instead, she is forced to impersonate the princess and survive through brutal trials designed to awaken her divine powers, all under the watch of a dangerously intriguing shape-shifting captor. Amnit Kahana, now queen of Ashura, is on the run following the king's death. With only her god with benefits, Jasmine, by her side, she must evade treacherous allies while racing to contact her father, the god of the underworld, before her long-promised powers slip beyond reach. Comes out on June 16. My next book is Kingdom of Rays by Melissa de la Cruz. Once upon a time, there was a shining kingdom floating on the sea. The kingdom of Orpheon was one of the most powerful and beautiful places in the world, but after an invasion by the land of Lacan, it was lost to the waves. Now the Orpheon live as the second-class citizens beneath Lacan's golden palaces. When two bands of Orpheon thieves, one led by Iban Cedriel and the other by Jeanette Strong, go after the same treasure, a priceless relic, their worlds and hearts suddenly collide. For the relic releases an ancient magic that could restore the legacy of Orpheon, a magic that could change the course of Iban and Jin's lives forever. Comes out on June 16. My next book is The Ocean Won't Paint Me Blue by Zufila Katu. 17-year-old Gina Dabaga has always seen life with a heightened sense of colors, one of many magical blessings the woman and her family possesses. But each landscape changes depending on her mood. When depression sets in, the world is a colorless Oseas, and in the wake of her mother's sudden death, the world has become a pungent shade of gray. Broken by tragedy, Jihan's family doesn't believe her color loss. Her father sends her to the elite Baxter Academy to finish her senior year. There, Jihan's name and hijab put a target on her back. Her habit comes in the form of an old sketchbook carved from a tree in her hometown Serbia, a country she only knew through her mother's stories. Jihad hasn't picked up a brush in over a year, but finds herself channeling the colors of her hurt, pain, and grief as she paints the story of her mother's journey in Syria. Comes out on June 2nd. My next book is Nobody's Quest by Alyssa Day. The goddess needs a nobody. The prince needs a miracle. Soli Greyman might be both. Soli has spent most of her life being invisible, an indentured servant, a lively mold scrubber, the girl no one sees unless she is in the way. So when the king's guards show up with swords drawn, she assumes it's a mistake. It's not. Moments later, she is standing in the throne room while the king tells her she's been chosen to retrieve a set of ancient keys. Only the keys can save the goddess and stop the chaos beyond the palace walls, because the world isn't waiting to be saved. It's already burning. And beside him stands Prince Kaylee, devastatingly beautiful, mercilessly cold, and certain Soli won't survive the hard journey ahead. He's probably right. But Soli survived a lifetime of hard everything. She may be a nobody, no training, no real power, and no idea why she was chosen. But she refuses to be expendable, even if the quest ahead is anything but simple. When assassins, monsters, and impossible choices fracture the fragile alliance slowly building with the prince, Soli realizes she can't hide in the shadows anymore, because for the first time in her life, she has something to lose. Comes out on June 2nd. And my next book is, we have no summary yet, but it's called The Secret Thread by Eve Chase, and it's supposed to come on June 30th. And that is all. My next book is The Secret Attic by Chelsea Conrad. The past isn't just haunting her, it's hunting her. Alice alone knew her mother-in-law despised her, but inheriting Bob's massive estate after her death feels like closure, and more like a trap. Bob's haunted rooms aren't just filled with clutter, they're filled with secrets, and it's Alice's job to unearth them while Luke grieves the loss of the mother he can never let go of. Comes out on June 2nd. My next book is the #1 book in Letters from the Last Apothecary by Bita Behzadi. Josie Pinova doesn't believe in fate until fate seems to believe in her. The day after she's fired, she wanders into Last Magical Apothecary, in Jesport, and lands an unexpected job. It's not ideal, but it buys her time and a paycheck, while she waits to hear if she's been accepted into the prestigious Institute of Magic. Phineas Reed doesn't believe in luck, and Josie feels like the worst kind. Opinionated, charming, and feeling outsmarting him at every turn, she makes him feel like he's constantly stuck behind. To her, he's uptight and impossible. Neither suspects they are already falling for each other through a month-long exchange of anonymous letters as fellow instant hopefuls. In the shop they clash, on the page they fall in love. Comes out on June 9th. My next book is The Game of Oaths by S.G. Bandlady. In 1896, beneath the hotel in the heart of Paris is the famous Le Cirque d'Obelisk, led by ringmaster and chanteur Jean Perret. But behind the dazzling spectacles, the circus performers are bound by magical contracts, also making them potential buyers in the annual Game of Oaths, an underground bloodthirsty tournament watched by the wealthy elite. 12 will compete, 11 will die. So it's Hunger Games 2.0. I'm just kidding. It will come out on June 2nd. We are almost done, y'all. My next book is The Children by Melissa Albert. Geneva Chappé has two childhoods. In one, she lives in the wooded shadow of her family's isolated Vermont farmhouse. In the other, the pages of her mother's world-famous Night City books, where her magical adventures have made her a household name. In reality, Geneva's childhood isn't the enchanted ideal her mother's readers imagine. She and her older brother are growing up near feral, unwashed, and underfed, escaping each day to the Lycian clouded woods they've made their playland. As Alice Chappé books explode into epic popularity, the threads of a rural childhood give way to the escalating powers of fame, until the night it all goes up in flames, leaving this series unfinished and her children the sole survivors. Comes out on June 2nd. My next book is The Unicorn Hunters by Catherine Arden. Anne of Brittany was a child when her realm was invaded, her home besieged, and her royal father driven to his death. Now her treasury is empty, and her land occupied by her enemies, and she is ordered, under threat of a renewed war, to become queen of her conquerors and marry the king of France. This marriage means her country's annexion, but Anne promised her father Brittany would never be conquered. Defiantly, she betroths herself in secret to France's greatest enemy. But in a world where courts may spy on each other by magic, there's only one way to solemnize the union. Comes out on June 2nd. And my last book is The River She Became by Emily Varga. I'm going across the river and I'm going to save us all. Yasmina is a brilliant scholar and loyal servant of the emperor, or so they think. By day, she catalogs the fey relics of her conquered kingdom. By night, she reclaims the artifacts in secret to restore magic to her dying land, until she finds the long-lost key to cross the river into the fey world and to save her people. But a ruthless realm awaits her there, ruled by monsters of bright and beautiful skin, especially the coal-eyed captain, who sees through her lies. But even he isn't what he seems. Under the guise of upholding cruel regime, he works to overthrow it from the inside. To succeed, he needs the same lost relic, Yasmina, the crown of an of the same lost relic Yasmina is looking for, I guess, the crown of an ancient fey queen. With magic that is a mystery even to her, Yasmina can help him find the crown and save his family from a fate worse than death, unless she steals it first to help her own. Comes out on June 30th. So I actually got two more to go, so we're almost done. My next book is actually The Temptation of Magic by Megan Scott, and this is a masterpiece in blood. Nicole and Kyan are playing a dangerous game. Nicole is on the run, hiding from the wake as she attempts to track down her mother's last artistic clue and the truth of her death. Kyan is pretending to still be the wake's loyal imperial assassin, even though his feelings for Nicole and the mate bond that ties them together have changed everything. Separated yet determined to be together, Nicole and Kyan must embark on a quest that will take them from the most powerful vampire in England to ancient Celtic treasures and lost Druid sites. Meanwhile, the wake sees all and the wild hunt is stirring. Comes out on June 18. My next book is The Unmagical Life of Briar Jones by Lex Croucher. Welcome to the Temple School of Thaumaturgy and your newest Dark Academy. Welcome to the Temple School of Thaumaturgy. And for as long as they can remember, Brian Jones dreamed of attending the Temple School of Thaumaturgy. Behind its looming ornate gates, the elite prep school, the place that has produced the most CEOs and prime ministers in British history, is whispered to be magical. Brian's best friend Sebastian Wolf never cared about Temple or believed in the rumors. He just wanted them to stay together forever. When at age 11, Seb gets an acceptance letter and Brian doesn't, the childhood friendship is shattered. Seb vanishes onto Temple's ground and Brian resigns themselves to a mundane life, but they can't completely forget their yearning for Temple, for the extraordinary, to be one of the chosen in the Ivory Tower. 7 years later, a summer job at a temp position sorting through the junk in Temple's attics. Brian takes it, and they discover that quiet, sensitive Sib, the boy they once loved more than anything else in the world, has become a beautiful, arrogant villain feared by most of the school. And was, the secrets Temple is hiding might not be so magical after all, but a dark conspiracy with implications that extend far beyond decades. Comes out on June 9th. My last book is Daughters of the Sun and Moon by Lisa C. In 1873, Chinese women arrived in a small dusty violet pueblo of Los Angeles. The dove, the brown-footed daughter of imperial scholars, is entrancing and innocent. These characteristics should bring her great rewards, beginning with her arranged marriage to a much older merchant. Petal, the big-footed daughter of peasants, has grown up hungry and with dirt between her toes. In the moment of desperation, Petal's father sells her to buy money for rice seed, and she is loaded into a ship to the Gold Mountain, America, where she is once again sold. Moon is married to a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine. She is educated, speaks fluent English, and has been endowed with a face of great beauty, yet her failed foot binding as a child has left her with a limp that lessens her value in the eyes of men. Each woman has her own desires. Dove wants to love and be loved. Petal desires freedom, and Moon seeks justice. Together they face a larger society that wishes them not 1 ounce of goodwill. Anti-Chinese sentiment is strong in LA, and this eventually leads to the Night of Horrors, during which all 3 women are challenged in ways they could not have imagined. Comes out on June 9th. Alright, those are all the books that are coming out in June. Quite a bit, as you can see. So let me know what you're most excited about. Please like, comment, subscribe so you know if I have time to post. I will see you in the next one. Bye!